the recording, and I'm going to introduce myself again. So my name is Nora Zimmerman, and I am a brand and a website designer. And I love helping people working in the health and alternative industries, that they're here basically to transform people's lives. So today it's like an interactive open Q&A for anyone that has questions about putting their businesses online, making themselves be seen online as well, because sometimes you know, we've got a little bit of a discordance about being seen and how to be seen and what to say. And also to perhaps, you know, help you transfer, if you were practicing in person, if you were, you know, being hands-on, you know, what are the possibilities of, you know, working perhaps online. So if you are okay with this, I would love to hear your name, where you're based, location, and what you do, so I can get more of an idea about how to help you. So who would like to start?
Shall I go?
Yeah, go on. You're at the top of my gallery, so that sounds perfect. Yes, go on.
I'm Val Payne. I'm from Cheltenham, Gloucestershire. I've been a kinesiologist at diploma level since 2017. I trained with the lovely
that got cut off. Who did you train with?
I trained with Claire and the lovely Lucy Goodwin.
Got it.
So, but prior to that, I've been a therapist for 25 years. So I have a business presence already. Want to establish physiology entities. So that's the transition I'm in at the moment.
Okay.
Already been a practitioner for 25 years, but now referring over to kinesiology, more of a full-time business.
And what were you doing before?
I've got a salon in Cheltenham, so we do beauty, holistic, and various other therapies.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. So, brilliant. Thank you. Actually, tell me more what brings you here, and, you know, what's your, you know, what's moving you to be here, if there's any questions you have.
I think it's actually the website. I've got my branding, as you can see behind me, and I've done my business card and all the info. I've got an Instagram, Facebook account, and I tend to trade that line, but I haven't actually finished the site.
You haven't finished your website. You've got it started.
Yes. I've got the info. It's just putting it and whether I do that myself, for which I haven't got a lot of time. So running the two separate businesses. So whether I do that myself or hand it over to somebody else.
Okay.
Then that's where, because there's so many different aspects to having a good website.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to mute you now so we can hear better. Good. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Excellent.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire, and I live in the Dolomites, North Italy. And I'm a musician, a singer, and right now I'm also training to become a soul-based coach by the Academy of Soul-Based Coaching, which is an approach that is very aligned with my values and what I believe in, which is that change really comes from within when it's ready to come. It's not something that can be imposed on somebody. So it's a way of working that is very much aligned with the inner process where my clients are, and also all the hidden parts that are not visible in the conscious mind. Yeah, So this is my passion, to create this change that is really incorporating all sources of intelligence, not only the rational places, but also the heart, the feeling, the intuition and inspiration. And I'm currently like at the beginning, starting to get everything in place to set up my business. And what I'm here for is to find out a little bit more about branding. Like, what do you think are important steps to take when creating a brand? Because I feel like that's the base of how I communicate myself into the world, and also how I show up online. So it's an exciting part of my journey where I'm very much at the beginning. And I don't yet have funds to fully invest in a professional website done by someone else. But it's definitely somewhere where I will be in the next few years. So it's like this beginning, and it's also beautiful place of my journey. I'm really enjoying it, and also looking forward to the future when money will flow and my work will grow.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Claire. Welcome, Birgit. Have I said your name correctly?
Birgit.
Birgit.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, welcome. We're just introducing ourselves at the moment and seeing what the questions are and what everybody needs. So just settle in. I'm going to mute you, and then, when it's your turn, you can speak.
Thank you.
Good. So who would like to speak next? Andrea?
Okay. I'm a dentist, orthodontic, and I try to promote through the website a new concept for our colleagues, how to prepare in office the appliance for the patients. So we are giving courses, training courses, and this is really a very patient work, because you can create since the beginning the whole treatment for the patient, and you don't need to send the treatment for the companies that some techniques used to prepare the treatment. And this is a very good occasion to hear some tips and new ideas to put in my website. Sorry for my English. This is not perfect because I born in Buenos Aires, so my English it's not very good, but I hope that you can understand.
Thank you. And Andrea is my dear cousin, and we're building a website together at the moment. And you are located in Spain as well, yeah? You are in Madrid.
Yes.
Yes, and I am delighted you're here. A member of my family.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, who would like to go next? Yeah, go, Polly. I'm going to unmute you. Go on.
I'm Polly. I'm at the very start of my kinesiology journey, or having obviously worked along with Birgit there and Cheryl. Hopefully, fingers crossed, taking our practitioner exam at some point. Anyway, it's been cancelled from May. So have taken this time to start to think about things in terms of set up my Facebook page. But I have to say I haven't got much further than that. It took so long to decide what to call my business. I sort of haven't even really got my head around the fact that it's now a business that I am starting to set up. So it's all such a new, because I've never been a therapist before or done anything like this before. So it's just really, I thought, oh, that sounds great, just to get some tips and feelings about branding and how to promote myself online and where to, I mean, obviously right now the situation is a bit different, but going forwards. So yeah, thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. What did you do before?
Food and wine marketing.
Wow. Okay. Good. All right. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Cheryl or Cheryl, however you pronounce the name. Apologies for my pronunciation.
Hi, it's Cheryl.
Cheryl. Hello. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for reminding me to be here. I'd completely forgotten. So appreciate the reminder. I'm actually sat in bed. I have my pajama bottoms on. Thank the Lord. I'm not wearing my pajama top, but there you go.
The beauty of being online, right?
Oh God, yeah. Anyway, so I'm based up north of Morecambe. I've just finished my practitioner training with Bergie. Sorry, I don't know how to say it either. And Polly. And for me, I've been quite active on Facebook for quite a while. I'm looking to create leads. I'm trying to niche my wording at the moment, just try and create some clients. I'm a holistic mindset coach, a nutritional therapist. I'm also a personal trainer, and I teach fitness and yoga and Pilates. So I've got quite a big, broad spectrum. And at the moment, I've created an optimum health program where I combine health coaching, nutrition coaching, kinesiology tips, and exercise, Pilates, yoga, mindfulness, meditation. So I'm looking to get all that online and promote that. But also I'm looking to grow my kinesiology clinic at home. I have a home studio and a home clinic. So I'm looking to niche my wording to attract kinesiology clients who come to me. There's no one in my area that is a systematic kinesiologist, but that has good things and bad things about it because no one knows what the heck a kinesiologist is. So it's about trying to create the right wording and the right draw for people to come to me rather than to go for a massage or to go to a doctor or that kind of thing. So I'm looking to get it right online so I can draw people in after the pandemic is over as well. So I've got quite a lot going on.
Excellent. 1 second, I'll get my headphones. Thank you, Cheryl. That's full. Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trying to almost get people to learn what kinesiology is as well as promote a clinic, but you also have already a business running that, you know, has clients coming in for, you know, all the health and the coaching and the fitness. Is that right? Okay, so it's a little bit similar to Val, isn't it, in a way? Okay, perfect. Birgit.
Okay, so I've also just completed the kinesiology together with Polly and Cheryl. I was lucky enough to get a friend to help me with branding, so I've got a little bit of a branding going on. Where I need help with is the Facebook and to get more coverage. So I understand it's quite a slow process. I know that there are do's and don'ts, but I don't know what they are. I have noticed that with every time that I put on a video or I put on some letters or information or whatever, that the exposure increases. But so that's and pretty much what Cheryl is saying as well, how to get kinesiology out there, using the right words so that people can understand. And I think we are in quite a good position, if I may say that, for when the pandemic is over, and we should actually be riding that crest to get people to come in, because we would be able to help with future immune help. So with me, it's really the exposure, pretty much. Cheryl and Polly as well, we right at the beginning, and how to get our names out there, how to get the understanding across, and then how to develop that exposure so that more and more and more people are drawn into the Facebook area. I'm not going to set up a website until I actually understand Facebook completely. I don't think there's a necessity for website just yet. Okay,
very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously if questions come up as we go, do go ahead and ask some more. This is interactive, so it's not like a television type thing, and I'm talking at you. So I suppose for all of you that are kind of at the very beginning, you haven't had a practice or a business that is similar to what you're going to be offering, like Birgit and Polly, and kinesiology is new to you and it's also new to your customers. I totally agree with the concept of, maybe not having a website yet, unless you are fully, clear that, by having the website, you're going to almost take your business owner seat. Because that's sometimes what happens, by having a website, you kind of become a business owner, it's like everything that you say you're going to do on that website, suddenly you're going to be fulfilling it. So it's like the website gets created, and then you that are here with these ideas and these visions, suddenly you've got to move there, right? So it's like the website almost leads you and contains you, which is really good. However, you can also treat one platform in social media as if it was your website. So that's really a very good, first step. So I don't know if Facebook is the right platform, or maybe it is LinkedIn, because kinesiology is a technique that can be seen as a little weird. It doesn't mean it's woo-woo, because it's quite scientific in a way. So LinkedIn is a bit more of a serious platform. It doesn't mean that Facebook isn't, but I wouldn't dismiss LinkedIn as a place where you can communicate and talk to people. The best way to network online, because at the moment we can't network in any other way, is to perhaps join some of the local groups that are, in your locality, because, obviously you want to work locally. And I would probably think county-wide. I wouldn't just think, my neighborhood and a few more. Just think county-wide. People are prepared to travel because, again, if they're in pain, they're gonna go the distance. I have seen people travel to Clare, from a long distance. So it's important that if you go to these Facebook groups and you start, it's almost like taking the temperature, right? Okay, what kind of people are here? What are they talking about? And in these Facebook groups, like you said, Birgit, it's kind of a slow cooking process, but you can begin to build relationships. And it sounds a bit odd, but it kind of happens. I mean, it has happened to me over the few, 3 years that I've been more active on Facebook. And I just thought, this is a bit weird. And I wasn't doing it intentionally, but suddenly, in a way, it's almost like how I know Claire, like circumstances, and then Facebook, and then, we're doing like a project together. So going into the local groups and offering answers to people's questions, that's a really good way, not promoting yourself, just engage in conversations, offer answers, recommend other people, because you might know a wealth of other local practitioners that you might want to recommend. So if people post, I'm feeling this way, or this happened, you might want to answer. And it's not an answer, it's like a cross between professional and personal, the answers. It's not premeditated. That's why I'm saying feel the energy of the group. Because in these groups, sometimes there's people that you don't want to be relating to, perhaps. And there's people that you think, oh, I really like the sound of this person. So you have to be patient. You have to be especially the local groups, because, they're usually, everybody joins. So as you get to be in the energy of these groups, you will feel who's there, who you can relate to, and eventually maybe make an offer. Some groups have, say, Monday is the day you can market yourself. So, maybe you can use that to practice offering what you do. And that can last for a good 6 months. So that's what I'm saying. It's organic and it's slow, but it works. Because people get to know you slowly, they get to trust you slowly, and eventually they will inquire. So how does that feel so far, Birgit and Polly, which are the ones? I'll unmute you. Yeah. Good.
Sounds good to me. In fact, it sounds really great. Just to go in slowly with little personal comments. I did join quite a few community groups, but I only ever just read them. I don't ever comment. So that'll be a nice start for me to start commenting if there are any health questions. And I was just thinking maybe even post, if we're allowed to post things like that we get from our supplement companies.
Yes.
How important sleep is, or depression, or whatever, and maybe see if I'm allowed to post onto these local community groups.
Well, yes and no. That's when having a website is a really good way for people to get to know you even better, because sometimes you can have on a website blog posts that explain that they are teaching concepts, or they're teaching the concept of sleep, they're teaching the concept of taking supplements, or you're kind of almost educating people at the same time as you are treating them. It's like double. The kind of work you do is double. Education and treatment at the same time is a double thing, because kinesiology is so encompassing and so broad that it has to touch, all these points. Some people are not interested in learning. They don't want to know. They just want to be fixed, which is fine. Those are the ones that are going to come to be treated. But others are going to be curious. And the ones that are curious and they are not very trusting, that's when you need the articles. That's when you need the education. And yes, of course, if you don't have a website, maybe on your own page, not on the actual group, you can lead people back to your page. Oh, I wrote this post about, sleep. Just write posts that are educational, either on your profile or on your page.
Okay, thank you.
So, for example, sometimes I direct people to my Facebook posts. Sometimes people ask me about my story. How did I get to be a graphic designer? And I wrote quite a funny post once, ages ago. So I just direct them there instead of telling the story again.
Right.
Or someone interviewed me once, so they can go to the interview. So you begin to have little bits of stuff that they are on your ground, not on someone else's ground. And so you begin to bring them into your energy.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. Perfect.
Good. Polly, was there anything else that you were asking about this? You were asking more about the name, weren't you, and how to get going on Facebook?
Facebook is good because I'd sort of come to the same conclusion as Birgit at the moment, not to do a website, just sort of step in little by little. And I must say, like where I am, there's a local Facebook group, and I look on it every day at some point. And some of the comments and the threads are so scary that I never dared to put anything or comment, just to know of what will come back at me, sort of thing. But there have been other things like Winchester Mag, and they've been done lots of things, and I donated something, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe now you made me think I should get in touch with them and see whether at some point they might just share something of mine. Or so it's just about being a little bit more proactive, isn't it? Not being quite so scared.
Yes, exactly that. And also, like Birgit was saying, you know, if you have some videos on your website about, this is the educational part, you know, about you practicing and talking and explaining what kinesiology is, or maybe you have some of your clients, if you had any case studies, you know, giving you little short snippets of a video, you know, I had IBS and now I'm sorted, you know, it's very simple, really. But yeah, testimonials and sometimes video testimonials are really lovely, or a testimonial and a photo of the person, so it becomes more real and people can relate. So because what you're doing with this, you're building relationships, right? Marketing is relationships and conversations. That's marketing. I know you did marketing before, but in my world, marketing is conversations and relationship building. It's mostly that. And it has to have your style. It cannot be borrowed words from someone else, something you learn, someone told you to do X, Y, Z. You know, it has to have your, you know, your vibe, right? I'm a bit loud and I'm a bit like, you know, I say it like it is. I don't beat around the bush, you know, so that's my style, you know, and I am going to attract people to work with me. And you know, I am a lot in my heart. But I'm going to attract people that want to have that bit of a no-nonsense approach. I'm not going to attract people that are, you know, wanting someone to agree with them, or wanting someone to do it all for them. You know, I like collaboration. I like people that get on with it. So in a way, you're going to attract the clients that you want to attract with the way you speak and communicate online. And you have to be almost... Sorry?
No, I was going to say, and that's why I suppose the branding and everything is so important, that it reflects you, because it's very much about, you know, you and your style and all the rest of it.
Yes, yes. I am going to put a spanner in the works now. So I don't advise beginners to invest in a logo or anything to do with branding. The reason being is because when people are starting, they are kind of beginning, right? So they're not ready to be fully formed business. Like you say, I'm not ready to have a website. So I usually say, look, let's just wait for another year and see where you're going, because sometimes the business makes a little slight turn of direction. Sometimes the business begins to combine kinesiology and, you know, coaching. Why not? It's not pure kinesiology anymore. It's, you know, the kinesiology and the coaching. So you offer a package, or, you know, some sessions are online and some sessions are in person. So I'm quite careful, you know, to see who's ready and who's not for branding. And also even looking for names. You know, in the beginning, I always say to people, just use your own name. It's very easy. You know, people are going to be Googling your name. They're not going to be Googling some, you know, complex combination of words. When people are Googling me, what do I Google? Nora Zimmerman. They misspell my name, but they find me. Or if you put Nora, designer, websites, England, you know, my region, Surrey, it's very likely you'll find me. Yeah, go on, Valerie. Just say what you were saying.
That was a good point you raised about the logo, because originally I came up with my other business name is Utopia, and I've traded that name for 20 plus years, and it's great. And I was call it Utopia Kinesiology, and then I stepped away from that, and I didn't want to. I wanted to have an echo of my original business, but so I changed it to New You Kinesiology, and then that just I just held fire on that for a bit, and now you can see it's New You Therapies, because I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, because I do a lot.
Very good.
I do a lot of therapies, so I didn't want to just be kinesiology, because I don't do just kinesiology. I do many therapies. So going forward, I didn't want to be tied. So it's good to just mull over and keep that sort of logo a bit loose, a bit fluid for a while.
Very good.
But now I'm happy with what I've got, and actually keep it simple.
Excellent. I agree with that. And also, because it feels like, you know, you're on the next evolution of your business. So, you know, the kinesiology for you is the next evolution. Whereas, say, for Polly, she's completely changing. You know, this is new. This is a new beginning. So when you will have the next evolution. Sometimes people that work with me, they have the next evolution 6 months later. It's as short as that. Sometimes people have it 3 years later, 2 years later. But some people say 6 months later, oh my gosh, Nora, I have to, you know, change the website. You know, it hasn't even been live for more than 6 months. And, but, you know, it's just the pace you move, the pace your business moves. And you cannot control that, you know, it just moves at its own pace, which is also your own personal pace, because the kind of work you do is very personal as well. It's very linked to you as a person.
Yes, well, you're ever evolving yourself, aren't you? So your path is very winding.
Exactly that.
Yeah, and I must say, I think what to call, and in the end I just wrote down loads of different words, and I wrote down all the words that mean something to me, and I was going to be Polly Howard Kinesiology, but exactly as you said, and I thought, yeah, but what if I add other things in, and I'm really interested in the more emotional work and doing other things? So in the end, the word that I like is well-being, so I went for Polly Howard Wellbeing, so that I could just keep it all really open for the moment and see what direction and how it all goes, really.
Oh, very good, very good. Very good. Excellent. So, more branding questions from Claire. So, you were asking, I feel, it was related to the branding as you're birthing this. The thing is, for you, because you've been doing this for a while, you know, the coaching is an evolution of what you've been doing. So for you, the branding is an important piece here. You're not just starting something new, so the branding is important. Branding is a big question, because branding includes the mark or the identity, which some people call a logo. Branding includes a color palette. Branding includes a set of graphics that are going to be how the brand gets represented in every single piece of communication. Branding also is a new word. 20 years ago, it didn't exist. I used to do corporate identity. That's what I used to do 20 years ago. I didn't do branding, but it's similar. So what you're doing is you are making decisions about how people are going to perceive you and what you want them to get with this small little logo, with the colors, and so on. So I think I'm just going to share an example so it's easy to explain the concept. Let's have a look. I'm going to share my screen. So here we are. So this is a website I've done recently. Can you see my screen? Yeah, give me a thumbs up because I can't hear you. Perfect. So, oh, I've lost Claire, I think. Oh no, you're there. So this is a website I've done recently, and Jenny works as a, well, you can see light activator, mentor. So you can see that she's very much, you know, middle class. You know, she's got a lot of kind of bling to her. And at the same time, her little logo is quite dynamic. You know, she's a very powerful, prestige-y kind of woman. And when we were doing these, which, by the way, we only did the logo halfway through the process. So we did a lot of work for the website, and then the logo came in the middle, because then we are familiar with the brand. We are familiar with what she wants to communicate. We are familiar with how she feels. I think I'm going to share some of her little graphics, so it makes it easy for you to understand. So we began to do these things, and these are part of the branding. They are called collaterals. And then we began to do these. So she had loads of material that she could use. So I would do this, and then she could use it with her own text on top. So what I'm trying to say is, every time she communicates with people, even on her email signature, she is keeping it consistent throughout. All the colors are consistent, all the graphics are consistent, and then there were some photos as well that they were quite fun. I think there's some here you can see. So can you see how the branding begins to blend with the images, and it begins to be, I mean, I don't think we used all of these. This one's quite fun as well. But she's a bit wacky, right? You know, you wouldn't do these perhaps, but she's a little bit, she has this kind of intergalactic thing going. So she can use these images, you know, because her brand is, and we defined these before starting. We decided, you know, she's going to be a little bit middle class, a little bit intergalactic. She drinks Prosecco. She sends her kids to middle class school, but also she's, you know, way out alternative. So we wanted all these things to work together. So for bringing a brand together, you are almost pulling the threads and the vibes of this invisible thing that you do, but you want to communicate. Is that helping so far, Claire?
Yeah, totally. And also for me, what lands is that it's really about what is it that it makes me unique. And it might be like totally different from what I would want to show of myself, but it's like really finding those true things of me that make me me.
Yes.
And that's kind of a scary and fun process.
Yes, there's different things that you can do, because the best thing you can do actually is you can begin to understand how people perceive you by reading their testimonials and seeing what words they use, and by asking questions. So for example, a lot of testimonials, they say about me that I am really vibrant and excitable and passionate. And they also say that I don't beat around the bush, that I offer the word clarity. Everybody says that. You offer clarity, 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 clarity. So when you are, so my design of my own brand and my own website, you know, needed to be clean and clear, because that's what people are seeking. What people are saying about you is what they are seeking and needing from you. It's not who you are, right? Because although I'm very passionate and vibrant and la la la, I am quite introverted. I am quite reserved. I don't like to be, you know, in big organizations, big groups and all of that. So learn from people what they're saying about you, and that is what they get from you. So those of you that know Claire, you know, she is very much like a trustworthy brand in a way, because she's so knowledgeable and she's such a star and she's got such a trajectory that what people see is not who she is, right? But what people see is that she's, you know, positioned at the top, that she is trustworthy. You know, you can see all these things that people are needing from her, right? So this is the same for everybody. In a way, when you are thinking about your branding, you almost have to remove yourself from you and ask the question from the people that have been with you before. Even your case studies. Read the words and pick up words and you'll get it. And those words you can also use on your website and in your communication on your Facebook posts.
Thank you so much. This is super helpful.
You're welcome. Yeah. Did you want to speak, Andrea?
Yes.
Go on.
No, I agree with Claire. It's really helpful. It's like the structure, and we have to focus on that concept. It's really important. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. Cheryl, you asked a question on the chat. Let's have a look. What sort of groups do you specifically recommend? Okay. You mean for Facebook?
Yeah, that was in Facebook, because there's obviously loads of groups in a local area, and you could end up in all sorts of groups. What sort of groups?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, just think about these. The people that are going to be your peers are for you to perhaps set up collaborations if you're looking to have connections with other, you know, practitioners. And the other types of groups are the ones that are going to be the groups where you can interact with people that are not your peers, and therefore, because your peers can make recommendations, right? So there's nothing wrong with networking with other practitioners and other health practitioners. It's really good. You know, they might be organizing fairs, they might be organizing in-person demonstrations. That's another very important thing for you guys, in-person demonstrations. And the other thing is, if you have an interest, a personal interest. So for example, I am a devoted yogini. So I've got a personal interest, and it's not that I go in there and network, but the networking happens naturally. So people, you know, exchange, and I get to know loads of people by my personal interest. So if you have a personal interest, say gardening, you know, dog walking, anything, and you might have several, you know, again, those are places where you can offer, when it's appropriate, your valuable gift of what you know.
Okay.
And then there's all the other groups. Like I said, you have to sift through because there's loads. You know, I get overwhelmed on those groups. I can't go there, frankly. But, you know, you've got to start somewhere. And if you feel comfortable doing that, you know, that is a great place. It takes time, but it works.
Yeah, that's why I haven't so far, because groups sort of do my head in a bit. I kind of see them and I'm like, I see a lot of negativity in these groups. So
the thing is, you've got already clients, haven't you, from your other work?
I do, but they're not some of them have crossed over, but not all of them.
What's the objection for not crossing over?
Spending money, I think.
Got it.
And probably not being compelling enough, not kind of really getting it out there what kinesiology can do.
Right.
A lot of my clients have been my clients for like 15 years, and
Wow.
they go to like, they already go to someone for a massage every month, so they don't want to spend anything extra because that's their budget. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, some of them
have you got any offers that you can make? So for example, you know, you can say you've done offers to them, I can imagine. Yeah. And how did it go?
I did like buy 7 sessions, pay for 5.
Right, that's quite a lot. It's a big commitment.
Yeah. I've done, like with my memberships, I've done like a reduced fee on my membership for Black Friday deals.
Oh no, I mean offers for kinesiology. Have you made offers for kinesiology?
Yeah, I started obviously at the cheap rate.
Right.
Right.
I'm just thinking, for you, you know, you've got already an audience, right? You've got what, 10 clients, 15 clients, 5 clients?
50.
50?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I want you to do in-person tasters for free, because you want them to have a real sense. It's like they'll see the transformation there and then. You know, you have a couch, you do the in-person taster for them, and you do several, because doing one is not going to give you enough feedback, and it's not going to give you a real good measurements, you know. So you can say, you know, the first one is going to be probably popular, second one may go down a little bit, but you've got to keep going. So I would say once a month, as soon as you can, or once every 2 weeks, you know, depending on how much availability and how much enthusiasm you have, you know, you can offer in-person tasters. And you can say maximum capacity 20, so cap it. So it feels that not everybody's going to get in, right? Like we did with Claire. I said maximum 100 people in her Zoom calls. Why? Because then people want more, right? So from Claire, what did you say, Claire? There's a message. Tasters for alpha testimonials and feedback. Oh, okay. Yes, that's possible as well, yeah. The way they do a kinesiology taster is more like a demonstration. So someone comes up with a little issue. I've got, I don't know, reflux, for example. So they balance them. And it's like a quick balance. It's not a full treatment, usually, I understand. And so in a way, it would be better to see, you know, 2 or 3 people on one evening. I don't know, you know, whatever you feel is best to A, demonstrate what is kinesiology. So that's the teaching part. B, demonstrate the benefit. And C, make an offer there and then. Right, tonight only, or, you know, today only, I am offering 3 sessions for all the people that are in this taster for £100, and you must take the sessions in the next month and pay tonight. So, yeah. It has to be, there has to be a little urgency. There has to be a little scarcity. And you don't have to be a salesperson to do this. You just say it from your heart, right? You say, and I've got something that I want to offer you, and I'm really pleased you're here, and I'm so delighted that you all stayed till the end, no one left, because sometimes people leave, right? And you can say, I just want to give you something, you know, for being with me here, and this is just exclusive. I'm not telling anyone else about this offer, la, la, la. You just speak nicely. You know, you don't have to be a salesperson to offer this.
Yeah.
And you make a price that you feel is right for you, right? Don't think about them. A price that you feel comfortable offering this for that price. And I think it needs to be 2 or 3 sessions so people get a real experience of it.
Yeah.
Then the next one you say, invite all your friends and family, and that's what you post on Facebook. I'm doing a taster. It's free. Come and experience. Are you suffering from pain? La, 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 la. How does that sound?
It sounds like a good idea, and I don't know why I didn't think of it myself. So thank you for that.
That's all right.
It takes someone from the outside world to help. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Very
That's
welcome.
something I'm going to put out there for sure.
Good. Keep me posted. Valerie. You need to unmute yourself. Valerie.
Oh.
Hello. Where were we? What was the question?
My original question.
Or any question you might have now, whatever. Your question might have been answered.
Yes, pretty much has been answered. I just need to actually just put down all the info that I have collected. I've already written quite a bit for my web, and I've got the basics there. I just need to sort out, I suppose, do I do it myself or do I get somebody to do it? Because I'm not very techie at all. So there are, I'm not even sure of the terminology, but if you're going to do a website, there are certain do's and don'ts about people finding you, and it's to do with the, help me out, Nora, what's it called?
SEO, search engine optimization. So yes, for all of you that are local businesses, you need to have search engine optimization because you are location based. You are what I call brick and mortar businesses. So it's important to have SEO done on your websites. So for me, because I work online, SEO is not super important. But for the people that are location based and people come to you because they come in person, they're not working internationally online, then the SEO is important once you do your website.
So yes, that's the bit that's really just...
that's just a technicality, but...
no, I'm making it bigger than it is probably.
No, I would say it's important. You need to find someone to do your website that, aside from the design and aside from the copywriting, knows what they're doing with the SEO. So, for example, I hand my SEO over to some other people. I'm not a specialist on it. I know what needs doing and I know how to ask them to do it, but I don't do it because A, I don't like it. I don't like doing that. It's not my speciality. And B, some other people will do it better. And with that, you know, if you're not a website designer and if you're not very technical and you can hand it over, I recommend you hand it over. I hand over anything that I'm not a genius at because I like being with people. I like doing what I do best. Now, sorry?
Exactly. I think that's why I just haven't made the time just to focus on that and just get it done. Just hand it over to somebody else.
Yes. And it needs to be, I would say, maybe speak to 2 or 3 at least website designers. And there's a word there important. So a lot of website people are not actual designers. They know how to build websites, but they are not real designers. And this is not a criticism, it's just how the market is. So I am a professional designer and I also do websites. So I can design, you know, all sorts of things. But a lot of people over the years have become website designers, but they've never had a formal training. Now, that doesn't mean anything because one of my mentors, she didn't have formal design training and she's a genius, right? She was my mentor, you know. So what I'm saying is check out the website that they've done, analyze the websites that they've done. And the analysis of this website is, if I am a prospective customer, do I understand what this website is about? If I am in pain and I need something, does this website say what I need to do? Is it easy to book the services? Do I get a sense of the people behind this company or the person that is running this service? Do I feel their vibe? You know, or are they hiding behind a company. If
I think-
all, yeah.
I think when I've looked at a lot of websites, there's very few that actually you can get the true essence of the person. They're very sort of standard websites, and that's what I didn't want.
Yes,
So
I agree.
So I think I just need to find a few websites, like you just said, that I really like and why I like them. And then I can hand that over to the designer to say, well, I like this and this is how I want my website to feel.
I think in the health industry, there's a lot of stock photography websites where the photos are bought from a photo library, and then maybe they put a portrait picture of the person who is, the owner of the company. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it feels very impersonal straight away. And sometimes the photos are very, they're just impersonal. And you've seen them before, you've seen them a million times in Facebook posts, there's someone with the arms open, into the sunset. And the other thing that happens, and I always say be careful, is for everybody that is a health practitioner, and especially kinesiology, because kinesiology can be a last resort where people have been to the doctor, they have been everywhere, right? And they cannot find what's wrong with them. They are in deep pain. So to show them someone at the other end of the spectrum, like, oh, I'm slim and I'm beautiful and I'm into the sunset, it's so almost like impossible for them to see themselves there, that the gap is huge. So you need to show something that is a little bit more realistic. So people are going to be able to see themselves in those images as taking the next step, right? And that's important because when you're with your images, you're communicating. So you can't just communicate the very, very, ideal end. You can communicate the next best step or the next two best steps, which is really where you're taking them, because, it's you want them to progress. You don't want them to just jump. So that's the other thing with images, and it will be important, that you have images of you, the real you. Obviously, wear makeup and, maybe use a uniform. Obviously, you have a clinic, so you know how to do this, how to present yourself. But you don't want to show on your photos someone that you're not either, completely done up, and then they turn up and it's someone else, or a photo from you, from like 5 years ago, when you were, with less wrinkles, basically.
Yeah, you're just being honest and being true, aren't you?
Yes. Does that help?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's see, there's some questions here on the chat. So tasters are for testimonials and feedback, and for online businesses it's not needed.
No, for online businesses, that was the question about the, I don't remember what it was, that Valerie was struggling with, or you didn't address yet.
Okay.
Google search engine, something about local businesses. And you said you don't need that because it's less important.
Yeah, for an online business, it's not that you don't need it, it's not a priority. But, doing a little bit of SEO, it's recommended on every website. The thing is, for local businesses, it's more of an investment rather than just a little bit of. You need to invest a little bit of money in it and keep it going, keep it healthy. It's a bit like a car engine, you have to oil it, your website, you have to kind of nurture it constantly. So it's kind of, stays alive, basically. Plugins, what do plugins mean? Oh, okay, Cheryl. So if you're using a platform like WordPress, you use plugins. You don't need to use WordPress and you don't need plugins. Have you got a website already?
No, but I am looking at getting one.
Right.
There's also Squarespace.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
So I use both WordPress and I use Squarespace. WordPress is like a bigger car engine, and you need lots of plugins to make the website do things. Squarespace, it's all in. It's a simpler engine. It's all in. They support you beautifully when you've got questions. They've got really good tutorials, and I'd say that's what's needed for, you know, a beginner's website. So say, for example, Tasks website is on WordPress, because that's a big engine. You know, we've got forms, we've got bookings, we've got payments, we've got, you know, a member section, we've got all sorts. So it's complicated and it needs to do loads of things. Squarespace allows you to do lots of things, and it's a lot less complicated for someone that is not technical to use. So you, as a small business owner, you can go in and, you know, update your website yourself, change the words, change the images, and so on. So I use Squarespace for my smaller, or not smaller, less complex businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. At the beginning, you mentioned LinkedIn. Does LinkedIn work geographically as well? You know what? I know nothing about LinkedIn. I have a very old LinkedIn profile, but what I do know of LinkedIn, I'm pretty sure it works locally, and there's local groups. Yeah, I have seen them. LinkedIn has a formality that Facebook doesn't have. So if you are seeking a little bit of formality to your business and to be, you know, quite professional, LinkedIn is a good platform. I would just go in and have a look and just check it out, you know, see how you feel. If it's too much, maybe leave it. But, you know, I would not say no to LinkedIn, because it's a really good platform. How important is LinkedIn for therapists? Well, you are crossing between. Oh, bye, Claire. Thanks very much,
Sorry,
darling.
I need to go. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
You
Bye.
too.
So, yeah, we're just running over a little bit, guys. So I think I would explore. I don't know. The answer is I don't know for therapists, but I think the kind of work you do would very likely be very suitable for LinkedIn. I'll be surprised if it's not, put it that way. When I used to work in the corporate world, so I used to work in Procter & Gamble for 15 years as an in-house designer. I was on LinkedIn. I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't interested in Facebook. I wanted, you know, but that, although design is creative, you know, LinkedIn was the place to be. So, sorry, I'm going to unmute you, Polly.
No,
Did you
that's
say?
great.
Oh, I thought you wanted.
Thank you. It hadn't sort of occurred to me. I've got LinkedIn, but just from a personal or whatever from before, but it didn't occur to me to sort of do it in terms of kinesiology. But as you say, why not? It's another angle.
Yes, and it will likely be less cluttered with kinesiologists.
Mm.
There'll be less kinesiologists, because all the kinesiologists I've come across, they are all on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. No, it's great. I feel like I've got lots of work to do now.
Yes. Any more questions before we go off? Okay. Brilliant. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. If you feel inclined, you can always email me a little feedback testimonial, or you can post on my Facebook page, Nora Zimmerman Studio, and the reviews section. You just post, you know, a little testimonial there, or you don't have to. It's totally up to you. I am really glad you're here. I'm really glad I've been able to help. And if you have any more questions, just, you know, find me. You can find me in the community, in Facebook, via email, anywhere. And if any of you wants to talk to me, perhaps about working together, of course, follow up. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mm,
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.